This video is sponsored by EA. Click the link in the description if you want to download Apex Legends and try out Season 4 for yourself. In this video, we are going to be breaking down some of the biggest tips you'll need for Season 4. Now, I've played quite a lot already, and I feel like these 33 tips are what I think anybody should need. They're obviously focused on some of the newest content, so the new weapon, Revenant, and some of the changes around the map. Number 1. If you want to move faster whilst charging the Sentinel, you can bunny hop or slide down hills. Number 2. You can climb around a lot of the walls and cliffs near the lava fissures, which could be a great flank against somebody expecting an area to be uncrossable without actually falling down. Now obviously this is going to be better if you're playing Revenant. Number 3. The L-Star can blast open doors. Sometimes useful, pay note that if somebody is sitting behind the door, it's not going to blast open because their body will stop it from opening. Number 4. Revenant is silent when crouching. Well, all legends are actually, but because Revenant moves faster, you can use it to sneak up on players. Practice this more than any of other Revenant's skills because it's his most important ability. You can use it when rotating around cover to fight a player and catch them by surprise, or just crouch as a player has finished their third party fight, or crouch towards a third party and wait for players to finish their fight and then take the jump on them. This clip is a perfect example of that. Number 5. You can use Revenant's tactical to find Mirage when he is knocked and invisible. As you can see in this clip, I wouldn't have noticed where Mirage is unless I used the tactical, which allowed me to quickly finish him and get my shields back. Number 6. Revenant's ultimate can be destroyed, so keep that in mind if you want to stop the shadows nearby. Caustic's traps are the perfect counter to Revenant's death totem. Put a trap at the totem and when the shadows respawn, they'll have just a tick of health, which means when the gas trap activates, they'll immediately die. Number 8. You can climb in some creative spots with Revenant, like this spot here. Learn to try around the map by climbing different things and get a hang of what he can climb easily and what he can't so that you can bamboozle people in the middle of battle. Number 9. You can sit inside your own tactical and use an entire shield battery before it disappears. Make sure you time it right because if you do it too late then you'll just be sitting there and your tactical will disappear and you'll still have about half a second left on the shield battery. Number 10. The Sentinel damage is a little strange, so here is a chart to explain it. With no disruptor rounds, it acts normal, doing 65 damage to body, 130 to head, and damage is modified by helmet, fortified, or low profile. With disruptors charged, the Sentinel will always completely wipe a player's shields no matter what. If a player has less than 65 shield, it will do the remaining damage to the player's health for a total of 65 damage. For example, a 60 shield player will also take 5 health damage too. The remaining health damage will be modified by low profile, helmets, and fortified. A headshot will do the same, doing a maximum of 130 damage, so it will wipe out the shields entirely with no impact to modifiers, and the remaining damage of that 130 will then be impacted by standard modifiers. This means that charged Sentinel headshots are more powerful than uncharged, but only slightly. Of course, body shots are far more powerful. Number 11. Don't put Revenant Totems in a door frame or an area where there's something moving or in the corner of a wall because it will disappear. Number 12. You can use enemy totems. Number 13. If you use an enemy totem, you can then stay in shadow form or choose to leave freely by shooting the totem to destroy it. You can't do this with your own totem. Number 14. The Prowler is now better than the R99. It has basically identical DPS, but more ammo per mag and less muzzle flash. I'd highly recommend you try using the Prowler now, but even so, both of these weapons aren't quite as good as the R99 was in Season 3. Number 15. The L-Star is also very strong now that it doesn't have a reload. It's definitely worth trying. Make sure to aim down sight so you can actually see what you're hitting. Number 16. The best strategy for the Sentinel is to use it aggressively. Get close to a squad, charge up the disruptor rounds, take a shot, then switch to your secondary weapon to finish them. If you use the Sentinel at long range, it's just going to lose its value. You'll shoot a player, knock their shields, but by the time you get close enough to act upon it, their shields would have recharged anyway. Number 17. If you want the most aggressive combo, try the Sentinel and Mozambique. It's one shot for the shields and one shot for the health. It's ridiculously overpowered if you can hit your shots. Number 18. Revenant climbs walls slightly faster. This is because whilst Revenant shares the same starting climb speed, the climb momentum drops slower than other legends, so a wall climb like this one in the firing range is quicker with Revenant. Number 19. One of the best features of Revenant's silence is that it can throw a load of UI elements on the screen of your enemies, which can be very distracting. This is almost as valuable as the silence itself. It almost feels like a mini flashbang. Number 20. Start firing first, then throw your tactical whilst right in front of your enemy's face to get a guaranteed hit and to stop legends like Wraith and Pathfinder from escaping. Number 21. The EVA 8 double tap actually got a small buff in Season 4, it has a shorter time between bursts now, so it's well worth trying. Number 22. If you want action, this spot is basically the new hot drop area in Capital City. Number 23. If you want a golden Sentinel, make sure to check the train, it has a very high chance to spawn golden weapons. Number 24. Don't forget Charge Rifle Mountain Sniper Ridge. These two box spawns guaranteed sniper gear, although for some reason you can still get heavy and light mags here. 25. One of the best things you can do with Revenant is wait for a third party to end, then sneak up to the enemy team just as they start to loot to catch them by surprise. Number 26. Watson's ultimate can stop Revenant's tactical. Number 27. You might not think the devotion is worth picking up considering it's now an airdrop weapon, but it really is. That thing shreds. Number 28. The Hemlock fire rate has been increased on single fire and it is now one of the most versatile weapons. Consider the Season 4 Hemlock like the Season 3 Scout and use it in the same way. Number 29. As Revenant, throw your tactical just before somebody pushes your corner to essentially force them to run into your tactical. With good timing, this can completely throw people off. Number 30. Pair Revenant's passive and crouch through smokes to catch players off guard. Number 31. Revenant's tactical stays on the ground for a short time, which means you can also use it to block off small corridors or give you a bit of breathing room. Number 32. In a tight situation, Revenant's ultimate can also be used to crouch behind, similar to Caustic's ultimate and Watson's ultimate. Obviously, it's going to get destroyed and it's not going to work as well as a real piece of cover, but it works in a pinch. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, want to try and get a heal off, want to reload for a second, then you can just quickly press the totem and you're good to go. And of course, you can turn into a shadow here as well if you want to. Number 33. If you fight a shadow near the Revenant totem, kill the shadow first, then shoot down the totem. The shadow will spawn back and will be temporarily disorientated due to the respawn effect, and once the totem is gone they'll be in plain sight ready to shoot. Oh, and here's a bonus tip, I'll just let the video do the talking.
Sniper ammo here. Sniper ammo here. I shot down a cargo bot.
Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've learned something with this video. I feel like there aren't as many tips to learn in Season 4 as there are Season 3. As you can see, it's mostly about the Sentinel and Revenant this season. They are the biggest changes, as well as some small balancing changes. I'll definitely take a closer look at the map and some of the other changes and more advanced tips once I've played more. But if you haven't played Apex Legends since Season 2, or haven't played it at all, then I definitely recommend my top Season 3 tips too, because there's a bunch of tips about the map that is also in Season 4, and of course later this season we'll get King's Canyon, and I'll make sure to do an updated version of Season 4 tips with King's Canyon. If you have any of your own tips you'd like to share, then feel free to leave them in the comments below and let me know which tip you like the most in this video. I'm curious to see what you've learned or what you may already know about. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and thanks again to EA for sponsoring this video. I'll make sure to chat with you all in the comments. Cheerio!